Hello everyone, Monisha here. In this session, I will be completing the nutrition. In that, there are two categories, autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. Autotrophic nutrition concerns only with the plants, plant nutrition, and heterotrophic nutrition concerns mainly with the animals. But in this session, I will be concentrating only on the autotrophic nutrition along with some introduction towards the nutrition. Let us start the session. Animals, plants, and human beings need food and water. All living things need food and water to survive. If any such creatures do not get food for a very long time, they will die. Since we know that no living beings survive without food and water. Food and water helps all creatures to grow and live. Food and water also gives us energy to work and play. Similarly, animals and plants also need food to stay alive. Animals get their food from plants and other animals. Plants make food for themselves with the help of air, water, and sunlight. A plant will dry up if it is not watered properly. So, how do organisms get their energy? All living things need energy to grow, change, hunt, reproduce, produce waste, and maintain their lifespan. Not all living things get their energy from the same biotic, that is living, or abiotic, non-living factors. Producers make their own food using sunlight, water, and minerals from soil, example, plants. Consumers take in their food from an outside source, other plants or animals. So in consumers, we can name herbivorous, carnivorous, and omnivorous. And the last part is decomposers get their energy from dead or decaying matter. Some organisms like bacteria and vulture, etc. Now let us know about autotrophic nutrition. How do plants produce their own food? Plants also need food for their growth. They can produce their own food with the help of sunlight and chlorophyll. Plants make their own food in their leaves using water and nutrients from the soil and carbon dioxide from the air. This process is called as photosynthesis. Let us know the equation. 6CO2, that is carbon dioxide, plus 6H2O, that is water, in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll gives C6H12O6, that is glucose, food, and 6O2, oxygen and water. So, plants convert light energy into chemical energy and store it in the form of food. Water, mineral and salts are absorbed by roots from the soil. The stem transports them up to the leaves. The leaves have microscopic opening called as stomata, through which they take in carbon dioxide from the air. The chloroplast present in the leaves contain chlorophyll, which absorbs sunlight, helping to convert carbon dioxide and water into food. Oxygen is given out in this process. Besides leaves, photosynthesis takes place in some other parts like green stem as they contain chlorophyll. This is all about photosynthesis. Events which occur during photosynthesis. The process by which green plants synthesize food or glucose from carbon dioxide and water in the presence of chlorophyll and light energy is called as photosynthesis. It is important mechanism of energy input. It provides food and oxygen for plants as well as animals. The important equation is carbon dioxide plus water plus sunlight gives glucose plus oxygen. So what are the importance of photosynthesis? Sources of energy and food for living beings, that is food for all. Biological processes releasing oxygen and supports life on earth, that is oxygen to breathe in for all life on earth. Plants or autotrophs are the food producers. Photoautotrophs, that is plants make their food by photosynthesis. Animals are called heterotrophs. because it depends directly or indirectly on plants. Chemoautotrope, production of food using energy from chemical reaction. Next, we have to know what are the raw materials used in this process. Carbon dioxide, water and sunlight. Carbon dioxide acts as source of carbon and oxygen in the formation of glucose molecules. Water, source of hydrogen in the formation of glucose molecule. Sunlight, energy source to conduct photosynthesis. This diagram shows the cross section of a leaf under the microscope. You will notice that some cells contain green dots. These green dots are cell organelles called chloroplast, which contain chlorophyll. And this chlorophyll, with the presence of sunlight, is very essential for photosynthesis. Let us do an activity to find out chlorophyll is necessary for photosynthesis. First, we have to know what is a starch. Is storage food material formed by plants, a polymeric carbohydrate of many glucose units accumulated in the chloroplast after photosynthesis, and presence of starch in a plant is evidence of photosynthesis. Next, we have to know what is a destarched plant. Plant that had utilized all its existing stored starch. Occurs when a plant fails to carry out photosynthesis due to the absence of one or more of the photosynthetic factors. Example, sunlight, water, carbon dioxide and chlorophyll. Now, iodine test for starch gives either deep blue or blackish color, says starch is present, and brown color for starch is not present. Now let us do an activity to find out chlorophyll is necessary for photosynthesis. For this, we need to use a plant with variegated leaf. A variegated leaf is a leaf that contains irregular patches of different colors in addition to green. We are going to expose this variegated leaf to sunlight and see the photosynthesis occur in the green and non-green parts of the leaf. So for this, we need a test tube, a propanol, aqueous iodine solution, petri dish, forceps. Begin the experiment by placing the potted plant in the dark for about 2 to 3 days. This process is very much essential to rip the plant from any starch that is formed in the leaves prior to the start of the experiment. At the end of this time period, remove the potted plant from the dark and place it in the sunlight for several hours. Then pluck a leaf from the plant and introduce into the test tube containing alcohol solution. Place the test tube in a boiling water bath. It is highly advisable to use the hot plate instead of open flame for the water bath, considering the highly flammable nature of alcohol. So during this boiling step, chlorophyll pigment in the leaf are decolorized with the hot alcohol solution, resulting in bleached leaf with a pale white color. This step is necessary for the better visualization of iodine starch reaction on the leaf surface. In the later part, once bleaching of the leaf has been accomplished, remove the leaf from the alcohol using a forceps. Briefly place the leaf for a few seconds in the hot water bath in order to soften the leaf. Transfer the leaf into a petri dish containing iodine solution. After a couple of minutes, we see that the parts of the leaf which originally contain green spots test positive for the iodine solution, becoming a blue-black color. However, the variegated spots in the leaf do not show any significant color change except for the faint brown iodine color. This is a negative test for starch and thereby photosynthesis. This simple experiment clearly demonstrates that chlorophyll is absolute essential for photosynthesis to take place in a plant. Let us now know about the open and closed stomatal pore. So we have to know that how a plant obtains carbon dioxide. So this is stomata, so which are the tiny pores present on the surface of the leaves. So in this stomata, massive amounts of gaseous exchange takes place in the leaves through these pores for the purpose of photosynthesis. So by the help of stomata, plants obtain carbon dioxide. But it is important to note that the exchange of gases not only occur through stomata but also through stem, leaves, roots, etc. Since large amount of water can also be lost through these stomata, since exchange of gases will be continuously taking place, the plant closes these pores when it does not need carbon dioxide for photosynthesis. In order to close and open, it has a function called as guard cells, the opening and closing of the pore by the guard cell. So the guard cell swells when water flows into them, causing the stomatal pore to open. Similarly, the pore closes if the guard cell shrink. The stomata is one of the important part or an important thing in leaves so that the plant will get abundant carbon dioxide for photosynthesis. Next, we shall know the detailed working of the stomatal pore in the leaves. Now let us understand, do plants need carbon dioxide for photosynthesis by the following activity. Let us verify this by performing a small experiment. For this experiment, we need these requirements: 2 potted plants of same size, 2 glass plate, bell-shaped 2 jars, watch glass, a beaker, petri dish, Bunsen burner, forceps, dropper, potassium hydroxide, ethyl alcohol, iodine solution and water. Let us start the procedure. Take 2 healthy potted plants A and B which are nearly of same size. Next, keep them in a dark room for about 3 days. Now place each plant on separate glass plates. Place a watch glass containing potassium hydroxide by the side of plant A, and potassium hydroxide is used to absorb carbon dioxide. Next, what we have to do, to cover both the plants with separate bell jars and use Vaseline to seal the bottom of the jars to the glass plate so that the setup is airtight. Next, what we have to do, keep the plants in sunlight for about 2 hours. Pluck a leaf from each plant and put the leaf in a separate beakers containing ethyl alcohol. Pour ethyl alcohol in both the beakers. Next, place the beakers in the boiling water and heat them for some time. But here, the alcohol will decolorize the leaves by dissolving the chlorophyll present in them. Both the leaf decolorize. Next, the actual experiment begin. Now wash the leaves with water. So after washing the leaf properly, we have to put iodine solution on both the leaf. So what is the function of iodine solution? Check the leaves for the presence of starch by iodine test. If starch is present, the color changes. So do both the leaves show the presence of same amount of starch? So the observation of the experiment is, the leaf from pot A remains unchanged in the presence of iodine. Thus, the starch is not present in it. The leaf in pot B turns bluish in the presence of iodine test. Thus, the starch is present in it. So this experiment shows that in pot A, what happened? The potassium hydroxide has been placed. The function of potassium hydroxide is to absorb the carbon dioxide. Since the potassium hydroxide in the first pot A absorbs all the carbon dioxide, the photosynthesis, the normal photosynthesis doesn't occur in pot A. Therefore, there is no food content in the leaf. Therefore, it remains unchanged. If food is prepared, starch will be present in the leaves. Since starch is not there, it showing no color change. But what happened in pot B? Since there was no potassium hydroxide, the leaf or the plant done the normal photosynthesis and prepared its own food in the form of a starch. Therefore, since starch is present, due to iodine test, it showed the color change, that is bluish color change. So from this experiment, we can understand clearly that for photosynthesis to occur, carbon dioxide is very, very necessary. So by this simple experiment, we can understand that. This experiment demonstrates sunlight is essential for photosynthesis. In order to do this experiment, we need certain requirements. Potted plant, petri dish, boiling tube, beaker, Bunsen burner, forceps, dropper, ethyl alcohol, iodine solution and water, and also black paper. Let us do the procedure. Take a potted plant and then keep the plant in a dark room for about 3 days so that all the starch gets used up. So next, select a leaf of the plant and cover a part of it from both sides with a strip of black paper. So after that, now place this plant in sunlight for few hours. Pluck the covered leaf and remove the black paper covering in it. Next, put the leaf in a beaker containing ethyl alcohol. Place the beaker in boiling water and boil it. Alcohol will decolorize the leaf by dissolving the chlorophyll present in it. Take out the leaf and wash it with water. Next, place this leaf in a petri dish. Next procedure is to put few drops of iodine solution and observe the change in color. The next observation really going to blow off. That is, the covered portion of the leaf does not change color, whereas the uncovered portion turns blue. The covered portion of leaf did not receive sunlight, hence photosynthesis did not occur. So there is no starch content on that part. The uncovered portion of the leaf received light and starch was formed there due to photosynthesis. From this experiment, we can conclude that sunlight is very much essential for photosynthesis. I hope you understand how sunlight, carbon dioxide is very much essential for a plant to prepare its own food. So students, in this session, I have completed the autotrophic nutrition, that is the nutrition of the plants. In my next session, I will be completing heterotrophic nutrition, that is nutrition for human beings. If you have any doubts, queries or any question regarding autotrophic nutrition, you can kindly comment me on this section below. Thank you. Thanks for watching this video.